Good evening, welcome back to the Fireburns Within channel. Time for another of my anniversary reviews. This time I'm doing this album, Foreigner's album from 1991, Unusual Heat. I've never heard this album, absolutely never heard. Foreigner is a classic melodic rock AOR band from the late 70s and mainly the 80s. Obviously everyone knows their massive hits. I really enjoy Foreigner. I think they're a cool band. I don't know them well at all, apart from the major hits and some of the rock songs. But I always listen to their songs, listen to their albums. But I'm not a big fan or a regular listener to Foreigner. So I just saw that this album was coming up to its 30th anniversary. And I like to do these anniversary reviews. It gives me a chance to listen and check out some older albums that are reaching big milestones. And on 14th June, this one turns 30. So let's check this one out. So I did. The first thing I noticed is that the singer is not Lou Gramm, so I wasn't really aware of that. But I know Lou Gramm was not in every Foreigner album, so this was obviously one of the ones that he wasn't in. And then I read a little bit more that he rejoined the band after this album. So anyway, I checked this album out. It's got 11 tracks in total. Checked it out. I'm going to give a quick rundown of every track and a rating for every track. Opening track is called Only Heaven Knows. It wasn't bad. It was a bit average sounding. The chorus is okay on this one. First time I'm hearing Johnny Edwards, the singer who took over from Lou, and he sounds quite good. He sounds pretty good, but the song itself is fairly mundane. It's okay. 6.5 out of 10 for this song. Track 2 is called Low Down and Dirty. This one actually has a video on YouTube, so I watched the video. This is quite a raunchy song for Foreigner. It's sort of like a sort of heavy bluesy rock raunchy type of song with a sort of it's got a sort of hair metal feel to it, but without being totally hair metal either. The vocals are very good in this song. Johnny Edwards sounds like it's a bit too sleazy for Foreigner. But then again, I don't know, maybe it was normal for that time. Possibly, 91, yeah, I mean, the 80s are over, and grunge is just about to blow all these bands away. But this was just sort of at that point. But I really enjoyed this song, actually, Low Down and Dirty. So I gave this one 8 out of 10. Track 3 is called I'll Fight For You. This one is definitely a Foreigner ballad, a power ballad, the type of song that they're well known for doing. Vocals are good again from Johnny Edwards. The song itself is not really my kind of thing. It's okay. It's sung well. The chorus is quite nice, so I gave it a generous 7.5 out of 10. Track 4 is called Moment of Truth. This one has got a mid-tempo rocking riff, really tasty, thick, swaggering riff on this one. I quite like this one. Solid vocals from Edwards. He sounds really good on this track. Chorus is really cool on this one. I really like the chorus. This is a nice, catchy sing-along tune. Probably my favourite tune along with Low Down and Dirty. So I gave it 8 out of 10 again. Track 5 is called Mountain of Love. It's got a typical mid-tempo riff to start this off. It's sort of like typical of the album. So they've got this sort of mid-tempo slow riff, slowish riff that starts off a lot of songs. The vocals are bluesy sounding. This one sounds like sort of like a mix between Bad Company and Free, that kind of song, with a Paul Rodgers style vocal again. Not a huge fan of this song, but it's okay. 6.5 out of 10. Track 6 is called Ready for the Rain. It's a gentle start for this song, but it's got a rousing big chorus with backing vocals that lift it higher. I mean, the rest of the band comes in, it lifts it a bit higher. The main lead vocal from Johnny Edwards is very good and very powerful. Again, I really like this song, Ready for the Rain. So 8 out of 10 for this one. Track 7 is When the Night Comes Down. It starts off with a slow verse, a very cool vocal from Johnny Edwards. The chorus builds up with backing choirs. Not bad, but a bit schmaltzy, this one, for my taste. You know, it sounds like it belongs on one of those late 80s romance flicks that were very much in vogue in the late 80s. It's okay, but there's no real substance to it for me. It's a pleasant song, but it just passes by without much fanfare or much for me to grab onto. So 6.5 out of 10. Track 8 is Safe in My Heart. This is a typical schmaltzy Foreigner rewrite of their 80s giant hits, the famous ones. It's sung well. It's not really my cup of tea. The melody is nice. It's a gentle, beautiful melody, but it's just not really my cup of tea, though I've heard reviews saying this is one of the best songs on the album, but not for me. 6.5 out of 10. Track 9 is called No Hiding Place. Again, it starts with that familiar sounding riff that they use on this album. It's just got that same groove, same feel as some of the previous songs. The tempo stays slow on this one. Chorus soon arrives, and this one is a little bit underwhelming, to be honest. It's just a so-so rock song. It's sung very well, if nothing else, from Johnny Edwards. His performance is solid on this song as well, as it is on the whole album. So 7.5 out of 10 for No Hiding Place. Track 10 is Flesh Wound. Quiet verses at the beginning and leading on to a sort of an AC/DC sounding stop-start riff. Pretty powerful chorus on this one. Not bad song. Again, I have to mention the vocal from Johnny Edwards. Cool song. This one sort of reminds me of their classic Head Games a bit, but it's just not as good. But not bad, so 7.5 out of 10. Track 11 is the title track and the final track on the album. Again, it starts off with a slowish AC/DC sounding riff. It's again got that sort of shuffle tempo, and then when the verses start, it starts to sort of go slightly dancey, almost like a dancey beat. Leads to a pretty cool chorus, sung well again. Chorus is the main point of this final song. The build-ups to it are not so exciting. It's decent song. It's unspectacular, basically. Very reminiscent of the whole album. So I gave the last track a generous 7.5 out of 10. So my final thoughts on this 30-year anniversary for Foreigner's Unusual Heat is that it's an okay album. It's not a terrible album. I'm very impressed with the vocalist, Johnny Edwards. He sings very well. He does a good job taking over from Lou Gramm. And I think he was on the previous album as well. I don't know the full facts, but Lou Gramm must have left sometime. The album just lacks killer hooks. It lacks like really killer hooks. The production is very good for a 30-year-old album. It sounds crisp, clean. The riffing is quite nice, a little bit pedestrian. My average score for this album is 7.27 out of 10, which is slightly generous, so we round that down to a 7 out of 10. Or if we're feeling meaner, 6.5 out of 10. So by no means a terrible album, but I'm sure Foreigner fans would have been slightly disappointed in this album. And you know, this happened to be Johnny Edwards' last album with the band, but it's by no means his fault that the songs are not that exciting, but it's just a nice, pleasant listen. I mean, I'd never heard this album before, so it was my first time, probably will be my last as well, but it was still good to check out Foreigner's Unusual Heat. So happy 30th.